Coley here. You should subscribe to my channel because otherwise real ones don't get famous and only people who do this kind of dumb shit do, you know?
I don't know shit. I don't know shit. Coley.
Morning, y'all. New Revelutionary. Put this down in the history books. This is going to be a big one. I want to tell you why I'm going to run for president in 2028. Because I don't want to. Yeah. Usually, everybody who runs for president is a psychopath. Their path is a conniving, manipulating path to power. Like, it's all about power, ladder jumping, getting to the power. Look at J.D. Vance, go to VC, get a bunch of money from Peter Thiel and those guys, change positions, convert to Catholicism at, fucking 39. By 39, you should be on to quantum God. If you weren't there already, I believed in God my whole life. I think, I'm super spiritual. But I don't know why you would go to an old operating system if at 39, if you're a VC guy, I'll use your language, So, but that's what they do normally. They get the logos and the brands and they connive, and then, they say, Donald Trump is Hitler. And then when they see that they could get the power, they're like, Donald Trump's the best. That's what they do, right? So that's usually what all politicians do. And there's never been a philosopher leader in this country, I think, since the founding fathers. I think a lot of the founding fathers were. And then you got guys like George Washington who were actually like in the field winning wars, like on the horse and fucking self. And then they did it. That time's over. Now we got a bunch of manipulative, ambitious lawyers, right? And so, my life as a comedian, entertainer, musician, filmmaker, doofus is very lovely. And I would love to love my family a bunch and get a wife and have kids and all that shit. But kidding with you. Was that the Matrix? But somebody's got to do it. Somebody's got to do it, And I had a very deep experience in 2020 when I almost died of COVID, and it convinced me that I'm supposed to. And with intellectual honesty, I can say, I believe in God. I'm a super patriotism, freedom, empathy, caring kind of person. But I never thought that would be like a real thing. And certainly didn't know I was going to make a Beach Bum Jesus movie. That was not in the plan either. I was a comedian. I was a satirist. I mean, I had an album called Coley for President, and I would say that on records and videos, but it was more satirical. Like I was like mocking politicians, like Sacha Baron Cohen does, or Monty Python, or Zelensky in Ukraine did, And things are strange lately, as you realized. And when the times get weird, it's time for a outside the box thinker, And I just got this download as I'm like shaking with double pneumonia, brain encephalitis, and unable to walk from COVID, and as I'm writing the Jeebus movie and stuff, and I'm seeing what's happening in the world, and I'm like, and I'm adding up like certain like prompts from like winks from the universe, and I'm like, I just became convinced that the universe wants me to do it. And because I'm not a psychopath, I'm not going to change who I am to get there. Like, I'm just going to tell you who I am, tell you my ideas. I have a very robust wonk platform I've developed over my whole life based on experiences, going to Georgetown where Bill Clinton went, graduating 3 years, magna cum laude, 2 majors and a minor, political theater and finance, international business, and worked on Wall Street during the Great Recession just to learn how they fuck everything up and how to fix that. I always liked being the outsider punk rock guy throwing, clementines at power. And that was why I talked about politics and calling for president, not to be a candidate myself, because when you watch a debate, your gut hurts because it just doesn't feel honest. It doesn't feel real. You can tell they're like projecting garbage on you, you know? And when you listen to an artist speak, you're like, man, it resonates because it's true. It's authentic, right? So I decided to play that role in life, which is a good natural role for me. But I also was vice president of my high school class with a 7-second speech. I promised no long speeches. Landslide, you know? So it's been there. And I was born November 6th, which is often election day. It's always election week in Valley Forge, where the Revolutionary Army with George Washington was, and I love that branding. That's why I started Revel and all this stuff. And Philadelphia really makes you patriotic. I mean, I think it's a great petri dish for culture relations because it's every single race and type of person right next to each other broke. So we all fuck with each other in a genuine sense, and we all make fun of each other in a funny sense. So it's not weird like the rest of the country, you know? You fucking black guy, yeah, you fucking white guy. We're just fucking around, but we actually fuck with. There's nobody. We're the same shitheads, you know what I mean? And everywhere else is all, you know. And then if you look at patriotism, you got, you know, the left hates the country, and the right thinks patriotism is honoring an orange king, which is not the first page of American history books. You know, the country was founded because a bunch of Philadelphians punched the king in the face, right? And everyone's talking about like he's the American Revolution, he's Jesus. And I think, and because he owns it and he sells Bibles and he sells gold and I mean, I don't know, this is above my pay grade, but to me it seems pretty obvious he's the Antichrist and a wannabe dictator, you know? So for me, my journey was rebelling against that. You know, that's why instead of working on Wall Street making millions like J.D. Vance did, I pursued a path of self-discovery. And so for the first 20 years of my adult life, I just made music, 20-some albums, podcasts, hundreds, movies, Jeebus, wrote other ones, my TV show, music videos, learning myself, working through familial, archetypal, historical, and personal, karma and trauma. A couple curveballs came with that. To become fully manifested as who I am. And in 2020, it told me to do this. The universe, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Quantum God, intentional, intelligent design, the great Yahweh, Allah, God Almighty, the great, the universe, love, you know, whatever you want to call it. I believe in something, you know, super deep. I resonate with it. It's guided me. I pray, meditate every day. It tells me what to do. And it got me out of situations that should have killed me and rewarded me when I answered to the calls. And when I got out of line, it slapped the fuck out of me, you know, and I deserved it. And I listened. I was like, you got me, God. I'm with it. I'll change, you know? So it's a very personal thing for me. It's not about opening up a Bible and stuff. And, you know, you hear a lot of this culture war in the country where, you know, the one side, the right says it's like just follow the Bible. And, you know, most of these people don't read it often. You know, and certainly don't follow it often. They're getting drunk, doing this and that, but they're saying the Bible's what, but they only listen to the like anti-gay part, which is like not conclusively clear, you know? And also it was 2,000 years ago. There was no drones, AI, plastics, permachemicals, none of that shit. Couple goats. It's like, it's an old operating system. And I think when you look at Eastern spirituality and Western spirituality and all these things, Power of Myth, Joseph Campbell, like there's a quantum God that's bigger than all of that, right? And then you got the some on the left that are like, because of how stupid the old school right Christians sound, the people on the left are like, God isn't real, it's not a man. Well, it's definitely not a man, but like that's why it's a straw argument. You're playing basketball on a 6-foot hoop. It's like, and they just take Molly and go to raves and you know, follow the God of money, sex, and drill music, you know? So it's like, that ain't it either. We need something new, you know, like a good universal God kind of thing, you know? And On the patriot front, there's the same kind of thing. The left is like, I hate this country, fuck America, blah, blah, blah. And then people on the right are like, America's perfect and our Arch Fuhrer is the second coming George Washington, which is blasphemy. I thought y'all would think, but whatever. And America is trucks and fucking his Trump's logo. And this man is such a psycho that he demonizes things we used to think were American, like the NFL and football and baseball. And like it's all about him. And so you guys became patriots of Trump, not patriots of America. Trump is not America. Trump is like a caricature of America. He's like the old thing. It's like, we tell everybody what to do. We bomb who we want. We act like big, strong men, which doesn't make sense. He wears makeup. He looks terrible when he's naked. He bitches more than anybody I know, like a fucking Italian. And if you got texts from an ex the way that he tweets, you would be like, this bitch is toxic, I'm blocking her. He ain't it, believe me. But I also believe America's amazing. And I love what it was founded on and the ideas. To me, America's an idea. It's not a culture. It's not a race. It's not a type of person or religion. We're a Christian nation. Jesus wasn't here once. Okay? All right? And he probably wasn't black. Or probably wasn't white. He probably had some melanin in there. I don't know what. I'm no fucking race geneticist. I don't fucking know. But I highly doubt it was a white guy in the Middle East. I'm sorry. But, and he seemed to love everybody. So I just don't fuck with that. I fuck with old school patriotism, Philadelphia patriotism. You come to Philadelphia, every single one of us thinks we're Ben Franklin. Every single one. Well, dude, you would see in LA, other Philadelphians, we'd start every phrase with, as we're talking politics, well, look, I'm from Philadelphia, as if that meant we're just right? Now, we're stupid. That's Philadelphians. But we really believe in it. Like, we really believe in the idea of being a diplomat and using your words and arguments and inventing things and innovation and, the power to the people and how to perfect this union and all the Ben Franklin shit. We're Ben Franklin. And if we need some weapons to win wars against bigger bullies, we go to France, we fuck a bunch of bitches, we come back with the weapons. That's Philly patriotism. You know what I mean? And if you go to Philadelphia, every road, every cafe is branded Patriot. American Plaza, Founding Fathers Cafe, Independence Hall, every single, you cannot get away from the patriotism in Philadelphia, and we fucking love it. We fucking love it. We're the 76ers. We're the Philadelphia 70 fucking Sixers, baby. 1776. We're the Philadelphia Eagles, the bald Eagles. So it's about like what America really is, not this like trope or caricature. And really, it's not America what you guys are praying to. You're praying to Trump. It's a cult. Everyone knows this. You know it. You say it's Trump derangement syndrome. Well, you have Trump cuck syndrome. You have Trump bitch syndrome. I got Trump reality syndrome. I like Trump as an entertainer. I thought he was funny as shit. And look, if he wants to be selfish and stack a bunch of money in his own life, more than welcome. But don't come over here in the service space and convince me you're worth for other people. You've never been your whole life, And so, I just think I have this unique lens from a strange life that sounds poetic to unite the country and just be like, yo, left and right. Like, we each got things that we're right about. We each got things we're wrong about. Like, let's combine them and do it. Because the fact is, we all have Republicans and Democrats in our brain. We all have one each. We have a left lobe, a right lobe, right? We have a left and a right. In our brain, there's two lobes. It's left and right. Just like there's hemispheres, night and day. And sociology, mass psychology, is that we're going bipolar. We're like, no, it's only left. It's only right. You can't tell me that one party's 100% right and the other one's 100% wrong. It's mathematically impossible. It's not intellectually honest. And the biggest abuse by our leaders is that lie. Forget all the small and medium and huge lies they're telling. The fundamental lie they're telling us is that we're different from each other and that the other is the enemy. That is the worst lie that's ever been told in history. Fact is, we're all shithead humans trying to be friends. And all the people in the country, I believe deep down, want to be friends. but they're hurting. They're not getting enough money. They can barely pay their bills. They can't get housing. And there's people who are exploiting that to give them easy answers like it's this person or this person or this person's fault. When I think it's the hoarding of money by the wealthy. And I'm not talking doctors, lawyers, entrepreneurs, small business, even CEOs, companies. I'm talking about the big money. The money we don't know about, the money off the books, the money printed, the money that, I'm talking about the big money. Real-time controllers have mismanaged this economy. They ran up a $34 trillion credit card, national debt. They printed a ton of money, so the money itself is not as worthwhile, inflation. They cut their taxes and services since the 1950s to a point that's, infrastructure and society's collapsing, and they hoarded it. First they sold us trickle-down economics, and if you look at the past 50 years, 90% of the wealth, like $90 trillion or some shit, check the numbers, they're close, went up. It didn't go down, it didn't trickle down. It did not trickle down, it sucked up. So you said that for a long time. There's lots of videos, we got proof. Where was the trickle? Stop the trickle, now you gotta make it rain, bitch. You gotta make it rain, or we're gonna start going French Revolution. And I'm a man of peaceful, positive revolution. That's what's revel, to celebrate. It's a positive revolution. Celebrate change, make it fun, nonviolent. But you guys don't follow those rules, and you bomb people, and you do clandestine shit, and you do all this stuff. So I'm talking to y'all right now. Please be inspired, be patriotic, and fucking take some of that massive amount of money you don't even use sitting in an LLC, hedge fund, or foreign bank account, and invest it in the humans of America. Let's make the country great. What do you want, 7 yachts and a fucking country at war with itself? Fuck that. It's greedy as shit. When you're on your deathbed, you'll realize how terrible that is. But if you go my way, at the end you're gonna feel really good about yourself. You're a good person, and the world's better because of it. So we're gonna get that money and we're gonna share it a bit more in ways that are very smart, balance the budget, make living wages, affordable housing, all that. And to me, that will fix it. Because if you have people working 2 jobs, 3 jobs each, and still can barely afford their rent, food, and health care, that's hard to have a positive, healthy relationship with your husband or wife, or non-binary or canary. That's very hard to keep that going. That's why there's so much divorce. And then the right wants to say, well, just throw a Bible in there. That'll fix it. We need family values. Throw a Bible in there. No, dude, throw 10 grand a month in there. Throw 5 to 10 grand extra a month in there by sharing the machine you built, which is now going to be AI and robots like the mill in Animal Farm. And I bet you people get a lot more happy, spiritual, kind, and their relationships prosper with their children and their significant others. You throw a Bible in there, it's the same shit. Let's be real. So I'm telling you, I love God. Let's have a ton more God. Let's have a ton more community. Let's have a lot more patriotism. But none of it works if people can't eat or be housed. It doesn't work. Then you get to a base human level that's dark, and it's like a jungle, and your survival, and that's why you're seeing drill music and dog eat dog and all this. If the people at the top aren't following the rules, and they tell us we should, and they watch Trumpism, and they watch everybody doing all this, what are they going to, what would you think? Well, I'm not going to follow the rules, So we got to honor the poetry, all of us, top and bottom, and it'll work, right? And I'm not demagoguing anybody. I'm not saying these people with the money are bad. I'm just saying mathematically you took too much and you're greedy and you're consuming too much and really you're hoarding and the money is stale and stuck and money needs to flow. Just like life in the universe. Things that don't move die. Things that move live. Things that learn live. Things that don't learn die. That's how it works. That's a universe rule, not an economy rule. That's a universe rule, and the economy does follow that in the long run, right? Fundamentals, not speculation and hoarding, okay? So you bring that back in, you're going to have a lot more prosperity, a lot more unified country. And then on the things that we got to get busy on, like preparing for climate change disruption, all these extra hurricanes and fires and levees and floods, for building the wall because there's some bad folk coming in. I'm super pro-immigration. I love people from all over the world. I think we're a melting pot. I think we need to have the best, smartest weirdos of all time all over the world here. That's what makes us America. What is America other than the group of weirdos. We're like the Star Wars bar. And it's easier for Russia and China because they are homogenous. But if we figure this thing out, it's harder with differences. We end up a lot stronger, right? So I'm super pro-immigration, but I do believe in border security and even the wall, like a tech wall or a physical wall or whatever, because there are bad actors in the world and there are terrorists and there are people who want to hurt us, unfortunately. So we got to have that super secure. So with all these things, whether you are a liberal who believes in climate change or you're a Republican who believes in border security, instead of arguing on Facebook about it, let's get active. Let's all serve our country and do it. If you want to build a wall, go build it. If you want to go help climate change, go do it. And let's have like an American HEAL Corps, kind of like the Peace Corps, where you can serve just like in the military, but you don't have to go kill or nothing. You can like serve this country here domestically. You can provide mental health services. You can help with climate change stuff. You can help with building the wall, whatever it is. And so we take all this energy. The positive of us all being so politically active right now is that there's a lot of untapped potential and energy. And if we can take it from anger and words and put it into action, get busy, this country will, just like in World War II we came together, but we got to evolve out of war. If we have all these crazy new weapons, AI, tech, drones, bio, all this shit, we also have to evolve as humans to be like, you don't need war anymore or we're going to all die. Because that's way too dangerous for everybody to have and not be wise enough to know we should be a collaborative society, not competitive. And so instead of serving in war, we come together like in World War II, but it's to heal America, right? And then you're side by side with somebody, red and blue, either building a levee or, putting in flood stuff or putting in the wall or whatever the fuck it is you want to do, mental health in the hood, whatever the fuck it is, let's fucking do it. Nike, baby, we America, baby. Why are we bitching so much? We're bitching and what we're bitching over is either Trump can fix it all or Trump will hurt it all. And that's a fucking lie. One man can't do it. It's a community endeavor. It's crazy to me. But that's what's going on. That's why I'm going to run in 2028. So for the next 2 years, I'm going to drop a ton of content. This is 2025 right now. I'm coming out to you about a week before Jeebus drops on Easter 420. And in that content, I'm kind of giving the lessons, the mission, the ideas, the philosophy behind all this stuff. And then I'm going to want to get active. After 20 years of self-discovery and making stuff, I want to start serving others. I feel very fulfilled and I expressed what I needed to express and I found who I am and it told me to do this. So I'm going to then do it. And I have all these skills between finance and being a CEO and managing production teams of 400 people and companies and web things. I have all this PR and messaging and communicating. I have all these things that outside the box thinking, good at math. There's all these things that I think I'm, I went to Georgetown. I got the technical shit. Who gives a fuck? But, I feel like I'm built for this. So I want to then do it, And so in 2028, I'm going to run. If I win, I actually would be the youngest ever elected president, beating JFK by like 6 months or so. So, and after the two oldest presidents of all time, don't we want young? Please, don't we want fucking young? I'll be 42 then. That's old enough to be wise, young enough to have energy and think outside the box. I don't think the old folk can fix the system that they built and grew up in. I think it takes somebody from the outside to actually fix it. And usually people like me don't want to run. Like what I said in the beginning, they don't want to run. So somebody just has to kind of do it because it's going to hurt. You're all going to curse me out all the time. You're going to hate me. People are going to send death threats. It's going to be god awful a lot of times. But because I did all that discovery and I know my intention's so pure, I sleep like a baby, I'll weather it fine. And I'll tell you fuck off back. Every politician says it's their fault. I'm saying it's your fault, our fault. We fucked up. We're choking right now, So that's why I'm going to do it. It'll work or it won't, because like I said, I'm not going to change who I am to get there or change my policies. I'll listen to others and evolve it and adapt it and it'll grow. And if I made a mistake, I'll change. I'll tell you, I'll say I'm fucking sorry. There's nothing wrong with that. But I'm not going to make strategic decisions. Like I'm going to take this position, even though I don't believe in it, because the data tells me that'll win. Like that would be counter to the whole thing I'm trying to do, which is a different thing. That's what everybody always does. And that's why we keep getting the same shit. But somebody's got to be the broken clock that cracks the matrix. And it ain't Trump. You guys think it's that, but you're taking a lot of these things I'm saying and you're projecting it onto him. But if you look at his whole life, he's not that. He screwed a bunch of construction workers. He just grifted, ran and run, fraudulent, all sorts of things. Self. So, you know, and like I said, I like Trump. I don't got no problem with Trump. And some of his ideas outside the box are very good. He was right on security. He was right on balancing trade with China. He has some unique ideas that come out of nowhere. Some awful, some good. You know, I'm not saying I'm a free thinker. I can see it for what it is, but it's just not healthy. And we haven't been healthy since he came around. And I'm not saying that's all his fault, but it's definitely a major symptom of what's going on, and we got to cure that shit. So if that appeals to you, I'll put online somewhere a link down there, my actual platform to heal America. It's got very specific things, very tangible things that are achievable. Some within the system, some outside it, some by activating y'all as revolutionaries to do it yourselves. And let's heal America, baby. Philly.
I don't know shit. Right now 76, thinking. I don't know shit.